Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the best and only Traitors podcast on YouTube.com. We are back for the the last episode and the recap of the reunion. But first, let's recap what happened last episode. So in the previous episode, the faithful were finally moving in the right direction when Natalie and Tara squashed their black beef to target Rob. However, when Natalie takes the lead in the push against Rob at the round table and Tara fails to back her up, the two are once again put at odds and the plan is completely abandoned. The final votes unanimously banish Natalie, who reveals to be a faithful, the last status reveal before the end of the game. With another faithful banished, things are looking good for the Traitors as they enter the turret to select their final murder victim. In a final twist, Alan reveals the murder will be announced before all the remaining players. Hello everyone, we're back. It's your girl Jay, and I am back with my two lovely co-hosts. Like super dope, how are you feeling?
I feel like the best hot Rob came out on top.
And Jazz, how are you feeling this evening?
I feel good. I wanted Rob to win. So,
Same here. We were all Rob stands, I think, from the very
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
We all
love Rob. Don't go back and watch any of the previous episodes.
I already deleted them, so.
Deleted what?
The previous episodes of this podcast.
No, they don't exist.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But anyway, so before we get into the recap, I thought it'd be fun to talk about the predictions that we had for the end game during our last podcast. So, Alfred, you said, I think that Eric's going to win by himself as your...
I said that? Yeah. My ear, I must have heard something incorrectly.
I think he had a chance.
I think a lot of things had to happen for Eric to have won that were never going to happen because Mara was there. So, yeah. But you also had a reunion prediction that Candace was going to slap Rob. So there's that.
I mean, she slapped him verbally.
Jazz, your prediction, it was more of a want than a prediction, but you said you wanted Rob and Eric to win together. So
and they could have.
Wholesome. And you also predicted that there would be a Candace versus Rob showdown at the reunion, which I feel like
accurate.
I predicted that Rob will win, but in order to come off as a nice guy, he wouldn't cut Eric. So I also had a prediction. I don't know. I was throwing yeah, right. I also said I thought Mara was gonna orchestrate Rob's banishment, which doesn't even make sense for the other prediction.
I think because we started talking about like maybe she is being big brain. But
yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
Well, the editors like be lying to us, so I feel like we kept on having false hope because the editors were lying to us. Also,
my production was like really interesting. So I learned recently that they don't actually sleep in the castle. They get driven to a hotel, and it's like all theater of them going back to their rooms or whatever.
Interesting.
And the Traitors, they everyone goes back in their own individual car to the hotel, so they don't know what's going on. But the Traitors get in the car, but then come back to like another production site to then shoot all the stuff for the turret. So yeah, those production people were doing.
Wow, interesting. You know, that's very interesting because, like, even though they would never show it because that would just be so much film, a lot of people were talking about how, like, it would be nice to have, like, a 24-hour cam like you do with Big Brother so you can see, like, what gaming goes on, like, you know, that we don't see. But if they're just going to their own hotels, I guess that's a little boring. But that's interesting.
Yeah, they show it, like Daryl said, they show people going to the hotel in the UK version. So
okay. Daryl also had a prediction. My prediction was Eric gets banished at the round table, Johnny leaves at the fire pit, and Rob wins. All right, guys, let's jump into the final episode recap. All right, so we immediately open with the murder. Like I mentioned, Alan had a twist that they would be murdered in, the murder would be announced in front of everyone. So it's revealed, Mark's murdered. Oh no. He goes out quietly. He's put into the coffin. So right off the bat, one of my things was that I feel like again, is this an editing thing? We didn't get anyone strategizing, being like, I'm gonna analyze everyone's faces. I'm gonna make sure, like, it was just kind of like, Mark's dead. All right, the casket,
I feel like
set his house on
nobody
fire.
did anything like except look sad.
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
Well, Rob like made some remarks. He's like, "Oh no, Max, don't go."
He said Jacob was such a sweet soul.
Oh, no.
That's crazy, not Max. Well, I just thought that was crazy. Even if we didn't get anything, the fact that there was no like, this is my strategy, type of thing was crazy. Also, what are you guys' thoughts on Mark being the final victim? Specifically, do you think this sealed the Traitors win? Spoiler, the Traitors win.
Taking out Mark.
Yeah, what did y'all think about that?
Yeah, I think he would have had a similar like confidence boost that Tara Johnny hybrid had, but would have been like better at selling, to whoever was left that he needed to sell to. I feel like.
I actually tend to agree. Me and Jazz were talking about this a bit, but I feel like the fact that Johnny was still there, kind of that relationship with Tara and Mara that tried to like form, I think it's like Mara didn't trust Johnny. So it was really hard for her to fully come to their side, because I genuinely think she felt that Johnny was a traitor. So if he would have like died, maybe, and it was like Mark and Tara, maybe she would have, something would have happened. But
Yeah,
I agree. Other than that, not much happened at breakfast. I did want to note though, Rob did say at breakfast he thought it was either going to be him or Mark that were going to be killed, because they both obviously come. Don't try to tie your name with Mark.
But he started acting these like last episodes, you know what I mean?
He's acting so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that got him in trouble a little bit.
Not enough trouble. Not enough trouble
And
where
Mara
it needed
was
to
not
get.
clocking anything. She said, "Well, Rob, you're right. It was between you two. I'm gonna keep you safe."
She like grabs him, not my Rob.
Yeah, basically.
All right, then we go into post breakfast / pre-mission. So Johnny and Tara, they locked in, and they now know that the traitors are Eric and Rob, and Tara attempts to pull Mara to vote for Eric. So what did we think about this wake-up call, seeing Tara and Johnny be like, okay, we know it's Eric, and let's pull in Mara? Do we think it was too little too late? Do we think Mara was the right person to pull?
She was the only person to pull.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only one they could pull if they thought it was the two of them.
Could they have potentially tried to pull Eric to vote Rob?
But they thought it was Eric.
But he could still vote out Rob.
That's a good point. I mean, it's like, the worst of two evils. In my mind, well, I guess they don't know, what we know from the omniscient viewpoint. But in my mind, if I wanted like a good gameplay, I'd be like, I would get Eric because he's the newer traitor to get out Rob, because Rob's just been skirting under the radar for far too long, and just like make it an interesting end game. But obviously, like, they just put together one brain cell to figure out it's Eric and Rob. They're not going above and beyond to say like, oh wait, let's get Eric to get out Rob. But then that brings up a good question: would Eric,
voted Rob?
Yeah, voted Rob.
I mean, they kind of tested it when they were in the car together, and they were like, "Who do you think it is?" Like you, and they were like, and he was like, "Yeah, maybe Mara." And the fact that he didn't say Rob probably was like enough for them to be like, "Oh, he's not voting for Rob."
Yeah.
This is already shady.
That's an amazing point. That is an amazing point.
Also, Eric was not like, he was trying to be too shady, and it's clear that it's like that's not his personality, or he's trying to like manipulate, or at least I don't know what it's called. But if he was, in my opinion, if I was in the car and they both ganged up to me and said, "Oh, hey, like, who do you think it is?" and I already had my alliances locked, like, Eric should know that Mara and Rob are like this, right? So I would have just been like, I think it's you two.
Yeah.
Just like throw that out there, because it's the end game anyway, and just like keep your alliances that you have intact. Because I feel like there's like some alternate universe where if he would have said it's you two, Tara would have never had that evidence against Eric, at the round table.
Mm.
Then also, he could say, hey, like they asked me. He could go back to Rob and Mara and be like, hey, they just asked me this question, and I told them this is what I thought. And then maybe Mara would be like, oh, Eric's down for the group, so I'm gonna not say this to Rob. So, and it's like, I think, at the end, Rob he always said, it's like, oh, this is like playing chess. And it's like, you got to think steps ahead. And like, no one was thinking steps ahead. Everyone was always like behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a difficult decision. I see Daryl in the chat saying that it was never, Eric and Mara were never going to work. And if Eric turns on Rob, then the Faithfuls win. I do agree that it was kind of, Eric was in a tough position because he, like, people already had sus on him. So I definitely see maybe a world where even if he gets out Rob, then they turn around and get out him. But, it's still food for thought. Also, yeah, I don't know. It's a lot.
Shing was finishing with Rob, right? And the way to do that is to not make Mara suspicious. And he failed at that numerous times. So.
Yeah. All right. So during the mission, y'all, I don't know about these missions, but if we want to recap the mission,
this was the best mission yet. So you got to recap it.
You think so? Okay. So the mission basically was you had two people in the helicopter. I'm just gonna explain it generally, and then we can get into details. You have two people in the helicopter, in a helicopter that's overlooking a loch, and in the helicopter you have cards of each player that played in the game and 4 cash money amounts. I think it was from 500 to 9,000. And then underneath in the loch, kind of maneuvering the loch in a speedboat, you have 3 players who are tasked to kind of go from like these little ports to port that have treasure chests on them. And so associated with each treasure chest is a question, and basically it's like a question of something that happened throughout the actual like season. And so you have to basically pick the player that's the right answer to. The people in the helicopter have to drop that player's card down as along with a money amount that they want to bank if they get the question right. They drop it down to the people in the lock, and if they correctly guess it, they bank that money and they get. So it's kind of a lot going on. It's like, how well do you think you can get the question right? If you think you're more right, you try to like deposit a higher number and such. There's a lot of moving points. I just feel personally for me, the money is just such an like, I don't care about that aspect at all. And I know like the meat and potatoes of this game for me is like the round tables and stuff. It just was like, this is a lot for no. I will say though, one of the parts of the missions that I feel like we're going to start looking at more is who's riding the cars, who's riding in like helicopters. Because I think one of the things that I thought was interesting was the fact that Mara really wanted to ride in the helicopter. Rob followed her to that helicopter and even specifically said, I was in that helicopter because I wanted to make sure she didn't talk with Tara more. And I feel like it's crazy that like he honestly is really good, because maybe we got this cut, but nobody else was thinking about that. And I remember watching Rob C. He did a podcast where he was like, last week, that's what they should have done with Mara and Tara, Johnny, and Natalie, and made sure she was in that car with like Rob and them, because that gave her like the ability to squeal, So do we think that helicopter ride sealed the deal?
Yeah.
What do we think about that?
No, at 100, 100. Like Daryl's saying, like, in the morning, Tara's like, can I talk to you, Mara? Can I like do my little, Sherlock Holmes? And she's like, oh, maybe. I think you're right. And then literally, like Daryl said, she hops in that helicopter for a romantic date in the sky. Every day that Tara said while that. And then the icing on the cake, he's like saying all these smooth lines to her. She's like, I want some more chocolate. Like, I'll be your hot shot. I was like, what? What is this? This is not Love Island. This is Traitors. And then on top of it, they gotta get the extra money. So on top of the bravado of like him banking in Mara's mind and doubling the money for the Faithfuls, he jumps into the water like an action hero to end their date. That's so funny. At the end of that, she's like, who the hell is Johnny? Who is Tara? You look in both of her eyes when he's dropping, all you see is Rob. Like, Rob figures in her eyes. So like that was probably another like that's probably an underrated move that he did, like hopping in that helicopter. Because otherwise, even because the other thing is like, even though it was like super rainy and stuff like that, Tara's probably going to be trying to be saying stuff while they're doing, whatever, or at least while they're waiting on the dock. But yeah, no, super smart, I think, of Rob.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even think of it that way because when you asked that question, I was like, did that help? Because at the end, I think at the end of that day, Tara and Mara had a conversation that I was like, why did Rob leave them together?
Yeah.
And I felt like that was a lot too. So I feel like it kind of offset what happened in the helicopter. But when you phrased the fact that it was kind of like he was, I thought it was weird that he kept saying things. I was like, when have you ever said any of this type of stuff to her?
Yep.
Literally.
What? Or unless they've just been cutting it out. But that was, what is this?
Yeah.
So that makes more sense.
Yeah. He was going thick in the helicopter.
Yeah.
It was arm around her and everything.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was just like, hey, snakes.
I got something you can warm. Something warm.
Yeah.
I was like, Sir, this is a children's show. What's happening?
Exactly. Yeah.
That was crazy. But funny enough, when Rob was, when they had that random this is why I can't mess with the games, because that was so random that they were like, okay, if you want to jump off the helicopter and then jump off to that thing, I was like, random. Like, what? But when they showed him be the hero and they showed his foot, I was like, oh, this is a winner.
That was hilarious.
Someone
was telling me about that.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was probably in my mind the most entertaining game. And I think it was also entertaining just because there weren't as many people you had to focus on. And it was actually finally back to a team effort. There wasn't a Traitors versus, the Faithfuls. It was we're all a group. Because I remember that one where it's they're in boxes and they had to guess what the Traitors were. And it was kind of a battle between. But the other thing I'm thinking back to the idea of the production, the production of that game was interesting because it was a very big, you had the helicopter. The helicopter was swooshing in and out, which as an action movie fan, I was like, that's pretty cool. But then also I think weather played a good part because it was cold and then it was raining, and while they were waiting in that freaking cold, shivering, and then Rob's doing his action hero thing, made me think did these producers after 3 episodes or 4 episodes maybe just decide that they are here for Rob's boosting of the Rob, fan club
train. Yes.
So it's did they make this last one? But you know what? We know who likes to jump in water. We saw him on Love Island. Let's make sure Rob can jump in water as the last mission.
He did with the pool. That's funny. I would say, I don't know. I was trying to reflect on the games because I feel that's a big contention with the fandom, that the games are kind of pointless. And I tend to agree. They're always kind of boring. Not the games themselves, but I'm okay, let's get to the round table. And now that I know, this is a bit of a fast forwarding, but a lot of people have admitted that they're there to wear their outfits. It really seems like it's only the gamers that are we want this money, and everyone else doesn't really even care that much. You even had some of the housewives and some of the ones where they're I'm not really trying to run. So it kind of makes me feel I don't know. If they need to do something to spice up the games a little more.
I mean, the next one is regular people, so I'm hoping that will be, I don't know, there'll be more drive in the games.
Yeah. I hope so. Yeah, Mara straight up was I'm there for the outfits. I think multiple housewives were I was there to show off my outfits, and I did. So, but yeah, and then I think Jazz, you mentioned this, that when Johnny and Tara were in the car with Eric, they kind of pressed him for who he's suspicious of, and they said Mara. All right, so pre-round table, we had a couple more chats. We have Mara and Rob chat. Mara thinks it's Eric plus one of either Tara or Johnny, but Rob is still pushing that it's Tara and Johnny. I thought this was quite interesting because I felt this was kind of aggressive, but it seemed like it was I don't know, a fine conversation. Then you had a Tara and Mara chat. Mara and Tara, they both agree that they don't think it's each other. They got each other's back, which I don't know, in retrospect, I don't know if Mara was trying to play Tara or she genuinely did believe that, but we saw what happened. Tara also says that she wants to go for Eric. So once again, I feel you mentioned, Jazz, after they had the whole mission, Tara checks back in with Mara to see where her head's at. once again pushing Eric. And I'm just like, where was this last episode? Like, where was this?
She was like, we have to wait a week. It's not, I don't want to rush into it this time, you know? Wrong. Like, it didn't make any sense, her thought process.
Yeah, I just was like, which secret, like, which secret day are you secretly wanting to wait? Like, what do you think's gonna happen? Like,
yeah.
Oh my god. Let's see. Daryl says they never focused on the Tara and Mara relationship at all during the season. It was obviously Mara wasn't siding with her. I genuinely think that Mara did not think Tara was a traitor.
Yeah.
I just don't think she cared because Rob was like, vote her out anyway. So
yeah.
No, that's what was crazy though. I think like that logic doesn't make sense, right? It's like
it does. They just did it to Natalie.
No, but that was an accident.
Huh?
Natalie?
Like they voted out at least Tara. I don't think Johnny actually. I think Johnny was genuinely sus of Natalie, but I think Tara genuinely was like, I don't think you're a traitor, but you were kind of mean to me, so off you go.
Tara does whatever Johnny says, and Johnny doesn't know what he's doing until the very end, right? And so, like, it doesn't matter if Tara thinks Natalie's a faithful. Like, if Johnny says we're voting, Natalie, we're voting Natalie, right? And so I think, like, the same thing happened later, because it's like, Tara had the connection, quote unquote, with Mara, but like Johnny is like represents both of them. And so Johnny has a hit. They both have a hit regardless.
Oh my god. Is this like the ice climbers? You know, like in Super Smash Bros, like when you play the ice climbers, if the girl dies, the boy will still live, but if the boy dies, they both die. Do you guys know that?
No.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It's like,
that's wow.
The female ice climber, if the guy dies, she has no autonomy.
Exactly. So she wanted to take her.
That's exactly what happened here. It's like, if Johnny died early, Tara would literally probably be the quietest person in the house, right? Like Johnny gave her life, almost literally.
I think they both. Yeah. Sorry, what were you saying?
As a result, it's like Johnny dictated what they did, even if it seemed as though Johnny did eventually have like good, intelligence of like figuring out it's Eric and Rob. But like everyone has been saying, even in the reunion, which we'll get to later, it's not only being able to find out who is a traitor, it's about being able to be socially accepted to convince people that, and Johnny didn't have that ability. I think Johnny not really
interesting
as much, but Tara did have that a little bit more, at least in relation to Mara. But I think the combination of them two together just like kind of ruined any hope that Tara had of like making that argument.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty interesting. I feel like, I think people were mostly suspicious of Johnny. I think even Rob said that Johnny can defend himself better than Tara, so it's better to get rid of him first. But I do think like Tara gets a little defanged because I think their duo was just a really strong duo because that's two people who would probably vote in the same direction. So that's kind of what, put the battery in their back. Because it's like if you cross them, then that's two people getting like that they're voting for. So that made them a little bit powerful. And then Tara gets a little defanged. But I think, people already thought that. I feel like people went back and forth between thinking Johnny versus Tara was a thing, but they thought one of them too was. So it was really messy, but I agree. I feel like Mara never actually trusted Johnny, even if she did trust Tara. And then Rob was like, vote her out.
Well, here's my question. Why did Mara not trust Eric so much? Just because Tara said so?
I don't know. She was like, even when she voted for him at the last round tip, she was like, you thought you got us, Eric? And I was like, oh. I guess maybe she did believe what Tara and Johnny were saying. I know, I might get, I feel like Tara and Johnny, what was I going to say? I feel like, that's the thing, I feel like Mara, she did have okay, this is going to sound really bad, but I feel like she was very, like, maybe she had the Tara thing where she like did not know the game very well, maybe. I don't know, because it was, Jasmine, you mentioned we were talking before how it was like weird that she was like she let Tara be voted out first. even though Eric was the one that and like because Rob just wanted it that way, it was done that way. So it's really weird, but she did seem hella suspicious. Even in that helicopter, she was like, "Eric is so suspicious." So I don't really know what Mara's game was.
Yeah, but it's like she felt he was suspicious, but you know, she didn't really give any evidence, and so that's, I don't know. I always find it interesting when someone's suspicious off of vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like Daryl's saying. It's like when people aren't close to other people, and because they're not close, they're like, I think it's you. It's like that's the wrong thing all over again.
I was gonna say I was happy when Eric pointed that out, that he was just like, I didn't talk to y'all when what's it called? Tara was like, oh, you don't speak up, you don't do anything. I don't know what your thoughts are, and he's like, Mike, all my friends are gone. I didn't talk to you until like recently, so of course you don't know what I'm saying. So now you're just voting up the odd one out, and I was like,
the wrong Funch is special, honestly.
Yeah,
but I think that's so interesting though, because Eric. Like, Mara wasn't close with Eric, but did Eric know that? Because at the end, he seemed like it was very, like, maybe, I think it's one of those things where it's, like, the mistake you make when you're friends with somebody thinking you're friends with who they're friends with. Because I guess it was, like, Rob in the middle. He was cool with Eric. He was cool with Mara. They all would chat sometimes, be like, okay, it's Tara and Johnny. But ultimately, that trust there, and maybe Eric didn't think, I don't know what Eric's thought process was, but I just feel like it was so dangerous to go to, like, in retrospect, to go to the end with Rob and Mara and just thinking that Mara's, and I know Mara even said it. She was like, I'm 100% good with you. And Rob was like, even like, it seems like Mara's lying to him, but I guess like,
yeah, that was so interesting actually, because he started picking up and getting worried.
Yeah.
If Mara had, you know, the snake in her, I guess, to be able to lie to his face and stuff like that. But in the end, we found that she can never let her off.
Yeah, crazy. All right, and then last chat pre-roundtable, Rob, Mara, and Eric chat. Eric says he's good with the 3, riding with the 3 to the end, and then Mara says she's not coming for Eric. But like we just said, Rob is like, seems like she's lying to Eric, and maybe she's lying to me too. All right, so I just want to.
Wait, sorry. I was gonna say, I think Daryl has like a good point on the whole like Eric thing. It's like Rob literally found his like hound dog.
Yeah.
To carry through, and Eric didn't have anyone he saved, you know, to help him at the end. Like you need allegiances at the end as a traitor, faithfuls. I think that's, you know, you go back to season 1, Suri had, you know, Andy
and Quentin
Quentin as the ride or die. So you need that as a traitor.
I was gagging because everyone's saying Moore is the worst traitor ever, but worst faithful ever, but have you met Quentin from season 1? He was loud and wrong.
That, honestly, I feel like you can't say Mora's the worst faithful. I think in reality, Mora's like the best traitor.
wait.
She was Rob's like, you know, hidden traitor.
Yeah, she's a third imposter.
Yeah, exactly.
She was marinated so well.
Yeah, that's so true. All right, so getting to the round table, the meat and potatoes. Okay, so Eric opens up first at the round table. He points out that everyone else is in duos, the Mara Rob duo and the Tara Johnny duo, and he thinks he's leaning towards the traitors being Tara and Johnny. Rob notes
he played that well, I will say.
Yeah, I feel like he did when he finally remembered how to talk. He did eat with that opening.
He's so late in the game.
That's so true. He even said in the reunion he had one of the he said, I think to the traitors, he was like, none of you guys were also faithfuls. But yeah, that's probably the hardest position to be in. He should have just said, let me die then. When he was given the ultimatum.
Maybe he just wanted to see if he could do it, and then he realized immediately, no. And he's like, well, I'm here. I might as well keep trying.
You know, he got to the final round table, and sometimes that's all you can really hope for, you know?
Sure. Yeah. Also, I just want to say, it's like, I was looking this up a couple episodes ago, and I feel like it kind of is relevant to the point of the game, which is like making money. Eric is a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
So he's probably just happy to get to the end and get all this screen time for his burgeoning music career.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think everyone at that final round table was a multimillionaire, if I'm being quite honest.
Not Rob, I don't think.
Rob was in one of the most popular seasons of season 6 of.
He might be now with all this
I
stuff.
think he is. Those brand deals play something.
He's
like, did you check?
No, I looked it up when I was like curious. He I think he has a net worth of 200 to 300K. So
that's
Eric
not true. You're basing that you're basing that because he just won 200K.
No, I'm basing that off before he won. I looked up his net worth.
I think he's no way. The brand deals he did post that season, no way. Yeah. This man has 1.5 million. He's handsome. He has overalls. Followers.
Why is his job Wrangler on Google?
Because he be lying. Just kidding. Just kidding.
What is it? It's such an odd. I've never seen that. Wrangler.
He is a social media influencer and he doesn't stand in it.
Yeah, but social media influencers aren't always like super wealthy just because they have a lot of popularity.
I think that's true, but I think he is.
No, he's not, but whatever. We can move on.
All right. Maybe not a millionaire. I don't know what the qualifications of that, but I think he's also very wealthy. Well, it depends where the $1 million is. But anyway, so Rob notes how he's suspicious that Tara and Johnny kept their distance for the majority of the game, and only when Johnny was in fear of banishment did they suddenly reveal themselves to be besties. Johnny rebuttals that he just didn't want him and Tara to be targeted as a duo, so they kept it a secret. And Mara's like, you know what? I think that makes sense. He said that he's sure that 2 traitors are left, but he trusts that Mara is not one. Tara also backs this up and says that she doesn't believe Mara is a traitor, but she points to Eric, saying that he's too quiet, he's avoidant, and he's only willing to jump on other people's theories. So 2 things that I really actually loved that Tara and Johnny did here. The way that they were buttering up Mara, I love that approach. To kind of get somebody on their side and be like, I know you're not a traitor, but let's look over here. I feel like that's really, again, too little too late, you bums. You should have done that when Natalie was there. But I thought that was really, I don't know, just for strategy for anyone who's going to be in the civilian season, you know. So Eric rebuts that he was saying names and being active, but to people who he trusted, which wasn't them. He actually lists everyone that he was friends with,
which I appreciate, but I think he shot himself in the foot a little bit because he's like, I lost this person, and Rob, and he looked at Rob, and I was like, don't do that. If anyone else is smart, it's wait a minute. You, Rob, is there a thing going on here? So he kind of jeopardized them both, but no one picked up on it.
As they don't. I also was like, maybe this was a little editing magic because it was and Rob, and he was like, you know how they do that, that evil hamster thing, and he's
the gopher.
Yeah. So Tara mentions Eric saying Mara's name during the mission car ride, which again, thought was a great move. Make him look suspicious, make him look untrustworthy. But I don't know. It seemed like it was a little too late. Rob then poses a theory that one of Tara and Johnny was an OG traitor. So one of them was an OG traitor who recruited the other. And I saw, Daryl, you mentioned that. This was such a...
I don't know how that flies. That doesn't make sense to me. It's because it's oh, I guess you watch previous seasons, you do your research, you know how things progress. But if I hear someone talking about oh, I think this person was recruited and blah blah blah, it's did you do the recruiting then? I'm gonna look at you and be why are you saying this?
The thing
is, you just don't know.
Yeah.
Unless you know.
I guess the rationale was that, which is so funny because it's I don't know if it's the people that are being talked to, but it's so frustrating to see something be considered suspicious and then something else be considered not suspicious. So I think there was a point where Portia in the very beginning was there's probably 4 traitors, right? 4 traitors. And Ron, I think, was that's so suspicious. Could have been confirmation bias. But then with him being okay, so when this traitor got taken out, this person was recruited. Nobody finds that level of triangulation suspicious. I don't know. It could be the people too. Certain people think a certain way. But yeah. I just thought that was interesting. All right. So then we finally get the final votes. So Eric gets votes from Johnny and Tara. Johnny gets votes from Rob and Eric. And then the final vote, who leads to the final banishment, Mara votes for Johnny.
Also, compliments to the production once again for picking the right order.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was beautifully done. So like I was really disappointed in Mara's vote. Did you okay, real talk. At that point before it was revealed, did we think that Eric was being banished or did we think that Johnny was being banished? Because I'll be honest, I did not think that Johnny was being banished.
I thought it was gonna be Eric. I was like, dang, Eric, it's been good. Bye.
Yeah. I thought like the Ice Twins, I thought, you know, their talking to Mara works. But that goes to show we never know what Mara's thinking.
Yeah, no. This whole entire time I was very shocked. Every vote she did. I was like, what in the world?
I will say Mara ate in the fact that even though a lot of people agree that she wasn't a great faithful and blah,
she was
blah,
a great traitor. Yeah, I agree.
She was a great somehow not even knowing how the game is played, but them being like such an important pivotal part of the game. Because, like Jasmine said, every single vote kind of came down to what Mara was going to do for the most part. So she got so much attention and so much focus on her hats and her latex. Like literally, she was killing it in terms of the attention. Yeah, exactly.
I love that look. It's so Audrey. I love Audrey.
She loves a like, I don't even know, 270
40 degree isosceles triangle hat.
Exactly. You will never catch her with her hat straight on. Like, yes, girl.
If you ever see Mara out in public, just for anyone who wants to stalk her, you know, wants to see her and say hello. If you see her hat horizontal, either don't talk to her or ask her if she's okay.
Just tilt it for her. You know that's an accident.
You're gonna make her day. Just tell her like, well, girl. She's like, thank you.
I've been stuck there. Couldn't figure it out.
Oh God, yeah. I feel like what Daryl's saying. The editors. When I catch you, editors, why did you make me think that there was hope at any point that this game was about to switch up? How dare you?
So, okay, so this is an interesting question then. So if the editors make you think Mara's thinking about Rob with those lingering shots of her, what do we think she was actually thinking? Wrong answers only.
Honestly, she was probably like, wait, so am I a traitor or am I faithful? I don't think she knew how to play the game. She was like, who's the traitor and who's the faithful? I'm confused.
Hold on. He's like,
switch the hat up.
Imagine Mara like in between the shots, like going out, I'm like, are we done yet? Like, how do we play this again? Be like, is this Love Island? Should I kiss Rob? Like, are Rob and I a couple? They vote?
I know there's like some outtake footage of her having Alan's name down on that little card at some point because she had no idea. She had no idea who was eligible.
But there's just like, going back to like reshooting, like, Mar, no. Alan's the host. He can't put his name down.
It's like, I don't know. But yeah, so okay. So I actually also thought that like a little pettiness, but I was kind of like a little bit like glad this is really petty, but glad that Tara and Johnny got played, because it immediately took me back to last week when Natalie thought it was going to be all of them going for Rob. And they switched up on her. So
that's true.
Which is a little petty.
Karma comes quickly and silently.
Okay, so at this point, we have Johnny out, and it's Tara, Eric, Rob, and Mara.
Wait, we gotta talk about when Johnny's out, and he had to go to Tara. I'm like, I'm gonna hug my friend.
Well, yeah,
because that's what he said.
Was so angry.
And then he ran off. He skipped off. He hugged her and skipped off.
Well, he didn't get a banishment reveal. So what was he supposed to do? Stand there?
Like he tried to skate on like solid ground. I was like, come on.
Like, what was he gonna do? Stand there and pose in silence because he wasn't allowed to say anything?
Don't hug anybody.
What? Can't say goodbye now?
Well, you're gonna see her when she gets banished soon as well.
Well, he said for the sake of Tara's game, his bestie Mara better put on that thinking cap. Like he's hoping that she puts on that thinking cap before. So maybe he still had
people kept trying to say things to Mara.
Yeah, leave Mara.
Leave Mara. She was activated.
Like she's fine.
That's true. So one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting in this play was the fact that we got Mark out, right? He was dead. He was killed. You know. Oh snap! Not me having a Portia moment.
Portia?
No.
Uh-oh, traitor.
Ron Funch is like, well, I think you are. And he's like, it's me. But no, for serious, I thought like Mark. So Mark got killed or whatever. Johnny gets banished, but he gets banished with us not knowing his status. So I thought this was really interesting because if Johnny would have gotten killed, we would have known for sure he was a faithful. So I feel like that changes a lot of things for how the game navigates, knowing that Johnny's a faithful. I think being able to send him out, obviously Tara feels that he was a faithful, but like Mara might be like, we got to trade her out. And so everything that follows makes a lot of sense to her that was the traitor. So Rob couldn't be the traitor because the other traitor was Eric to her. So I don't know. It was just kind of like, I guess another kudos to Rob because that was a really
3D chess, man.
Exactly, a really good play. You know, so and I guess Johnny also had suspicions on him still in a way. Although it didn't really even matter. It was literally this game was revolving around what Mara was thinking, like the world being created around Mara, which is
actually
insane.
the main character of this whole entire season.
That's
just didn't
honestly,
know.
Exactly. Honestly, she was mad at Rob, but she said thank you because she somehow became the main character, being one of the worst players that didn't even know what was going on. So, you know, great for everyone. All right. So let's move on to the aftermath. So, you know, we've had this roundtable. We're going to get in, like the final roundtable. We have a chat between Mara and Rob. Rob wants to go for Tara. Mara says we can go for Tara, but they have to take out Eric too. So then they're kind of like, oh, we're about to win this game. Maybe, again, this is me being third omniscient view. Is that sus?
What?
Like, I don't know. Like, is it sus if you're Mara that Rob wants to go for Tara so bad?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I just feel like...
I don't know. I guess in her mind, she's like, he has a point that it might be that she got recruited, so she's probably just anything Rob says, I feel like she's just like, yes.
No, okay. No, I think like that 100%. It's like in her mind, it's like anything Rob says goes. But also in her mind, like from day one, it's been her and Rob. And so like if you don't know who the faithful is, but you have your ride or die and you think you're both faithful, it just makes sense to say like, hey, like we're just gonna finish together because we know we're faithfuls. And so I feel like in her mind, she's like, I don't trust Eric. And she knows that Rob and Eric are like tight, right? So by her saying that and Rob saying, okay, I'll do that, she's kind of making the same sacrifice that Rob is making with Eric with Tara. To be like, hey, Rob's like, hey, I want to get Tara out. And he's like, whatever. And so it's like, you know, Schrodinger's cat, you don't know who's who. Just vote them both out. And hopefully they'll both be, or one of them is going to be a traitor. You'll never know, but one of them is going to be a traitor. But you're, in the end, with the person you know who is a faithful, 100%. And that's actually a pretty smart tactic at the end of the day, if you're smarter than Mara. For her, it you know, bit her in the behind.
I think it's also a luck thing too, right? That you just don't, your ride or die just hopefully is not a traitor. Which I feel like maybe you can start to suss out by like how, like the whole question of why am I here? I feel like Mara asked it, but I feel like she wasn't really serious about finding out the answer in the way that like Natalie was.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like such a sad question to ask of yourself. Because it's like, this is a game that's literally not even that much of a game, more of like a social experiment, right? You're there because socially you made the right connections, whether or not they're traitors or not, to still be there, right? It's not like who's doing the best of games. It's not like, you know, who is the smartest, obviously. It's who socially is accepted in the group that's left, right? And so like one of the first people to leave was Donna, you know, someone who wasn't socially acceptable, or like Portia and all this other stuff like that. You know, I was listening to like an NPR podcast, and they called it, they renamed this game, I think in a very apt way. They called it Confirmation Bias the Game. Right?
Deep.
And that's
Yeah.
all this really is at the end of the day. So it's like you have what you believe and you just move in that direction. And I think that's why it was so hard for anyone to deviate and like eventually get on Rob, because like Rob just made them so like feel so good, and some of the other people too, that like they didn't want to be hurt and find out that Rob was a traitor.
Yeah.
They want to live in their bubble.
T. I think at one point, like, I think I said this last time, but I think at that Natalie vote, it was like people were more okay with being wrong about Natalie than being wrong about Rob. And I think that is
Yeah.
a social thing. I
Yeah.
will say, though,
We're doing Michael Rappaport
my
and
thing is,
Juan.
though, doesn't that kind of ruin or break the point of the game? Because to you guys' point, and I feel like Daryl's echoing this in the chat, the point of the game is to maybe find like a tight knit crew and get to the end, no matter who, like, not because you're actually sussing, but because you're close to them. Because when you say you feel like you can trust them, that doesn't really mean anything. Like maybe you connected over something. So isn't it like breaking the game to be like, okay, I have a group of 6. I don't care who's traitors, inside or outside. I just know if you're not in my group of 6, I'm just trying to get you out. Because then that's kind of different than like finding out who's the traitors. And to your point, it just becomes who's like more popular, or not even who's more popular, who's in the group, the dominant group, like, or whatever. Like at one point I definitely think that Dagger 6 was kind of just like looking outside the Dagger 6, like, and not, and it's like who's suspicious specifically outside the Dagger 6, which like I don't know, do you guys feel like that ruins the game?
No,
I think it's part of it.
Yeah,
it's like one way to play it.
Yeah. It's like when you look at the beginning when people come in, it's like, what do they always say? It's like the gamers are with the gamers and the housewives are the housewives and everyone else is whatever. It's like, even before you get in the house, people are clicked up, right? And the only reason it's tragic is I don't think it's tragic, but like I'm thinking about the housewives. If they cared more about the game than their outfits, they could have like Candace and Lisa could have clicked up with the housewives to have a massive coalition in the very beginning, right? Like they had 6 votes. They could have swayed everything to the very end, and then Candace and Lisa could have won, and like gotten Rob, like eventually gotten Rob out, gotten all the people who are not part of the clique. Because like when you look at the gameplay, season 1 to now, that's what Siri did. That's what Rob did. You find the clique to carry you into the very end, to hide through, to mask yourself.
I feel like at that point we're just playing Big Brother almost, and it's like, if we're gonna play Big Brother, let's just play Big Brother. Like it's like this, it's I don't know, it's this weird thing where it's just kind of like, I don't know, I see your point, and it is kind of interesting, the social aspect, but I feel like if it gets too social, then it's like, are we even trying to suss out traitors? Now I do think it's on the production that they don't really give the people anything to be able to like properly suss out traitors if you're a faithful. Like it's very hard to play as a faithful. So it's like at the end of the day, your best strategy is probably just linking up with people, getting the majority, and then like kicking everyone off or whatever. But it's just kind of like, okay, then like what the heck is the point of the traitors aspect?
I mean, I feel like, once Traitors gets to its 50 season anniversary, people like start to realize like the different ways you have to play and how you have to transition. Like in the beginning, it's like you don't have much to go on, so you just like go off of vibes. But as you go on, like continue, you need to be able to pivot and like not only go off of vibes, but also not go off of like superfluous, oh, Rob dropped his fork, like type of stuff. You got to like try to find more concrete. And then I think it'll become a better blending of like social, but then like intellectual stuff like that. Right? But it will be interesting because I feel like we should watch the celebrity UK version, because I feel like that's different than having reality stars, and that will like provide their fun. And I think when they have like the civilian US episode, that'll be interesting as well.
Yeah.
Depending on who they bring in. So.
Yeah.
Because then they don't have their allegiances already.
That's true. And kind of not knowing. Because I think, I mean, it was, because the thing is, as much as we don't like Colton, okay, I'm not saying that this is a sign.
Why don't we like Colton?
He like has some stalker issues.
Get her.
Colton stands in the chat. But like, I feel like it was low key. He ate a tad. He chewed. He nibbled. When he was like, Lisa, you're not acting like how I would expect you to act. But at the same time, I kind of did feel bad for Lisa because it's like, well, that might literally just be a housewives persona that she's hooting and hollering and doing all that stuff. And apparently she left the housewives a long time ago. So I do agree with you, Jasmine, where it's like without this like people knowing about like the people, like it will be a bit more harder for people to like, be able to use stuff like that. So, but I don't know what they're going to use, but I've never watched the civilian season.
Well, I already know that. I feel like the introverts are going to be kicked out very early.
The introverts that aren't sexy are going to be kicked out.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, true.
You have to have overalls.
They got those pretty perfect. Oh, watch next season. Every single person coming with overalls for no difference.
Andy did. Andy said, "Let me show them what I've been doing at the gym." I said,
"Oh, they should
immediately." He was like, "You have to cover that up."
That was really funny. The next scene, he was in a full suit. I was like, "Okay, shady." All right. So, also in the aftermath, we have Eric and Rob. They go for a chat. They agree that they just need to banish Tara, and then they win. Eric, no. And then Mara and Tara chat, and they both think it's Eric. But then Tara slightly tries to push Rob, but then Mara's like, I just don't believe it's Rob. All right. Let's wrap this up. Final round table, y'all. So, as you guys know, the format is kind of like the players around the round table. They all have like this bag of dust or whatever. And if it's green, I think they continue the game. So they keep voting people out. If it's red, they stop the game. Right?
No,
so the first,
Vice versa.
Vice versa.
Yeah, green is good.
I keep mixing that up. So all players for the first go around, they choose to continue the game. Specifically Tara, she's like, I'm going to continue the game because Eric, guess what, you're a traitor. Again, Tara, I can only give you 2s because why are we trying to be all bold and like whatever now? I mean, I guess to try to get Mara on the last stitch effort, but it kind of like, I was like, all right, girl. All right. So, okay. I feel at this point the traitors already won. Okay. Yeah. There, basically. So the final vote is Eric, Rob, and Mara vote Tara, and Tara votes Eric, meaning that Tara's gone, and we're down to the remaining 3. All right. So for round 2, does anyone have anything that they wanted to give? Did you think that Tara might have had something?
No, but I just wish that Mara made Rob vote Eric first, just for the drama of it all.
Which is smart, honestly.
Because then you gotta like prove yourself, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. I feel like the way this played out was like, even though like at some point we knew it was like curtains. I feel like even at the top 4 we knew it was curtains, but like it still was very like suspenseful. So good for them. So round 2, this was probably the more like chaotic one. So Mara, she votes to continue this game, specifically calls out Eric. Eric votes to stop, and then Rob, in a twist to Eric and only Eric himself, no, just kidding, he votes to continue the game. What? I felt so bad for Eric. I don't know. Like, everyone's saying, like, it's a game, and I get that. But I felt he seemed genuinely devastated and shocked because I feel like it all, in that moment, like, before the votes were even cast, as soon as he saw that Rob wanted to continue the game, he knew what was tea, which is crazy. Like,
yeah, when I didn't, to be honest, I've never so this is my first time watching Traitors. So, like, I didn't know that meant Rob was going to vote Eric. I thought the whole plan was to vote Mara and just get her out, and then it was just the 2 of them.
I think what it was, because the thing is, if they stop the game and there's any traitors in, then the traitors win. So they technically do not have to vote Mara out to win. So I think with Eric, it was like, all we have to do is vote Tara out. And I think that was more because they knew Tara was going to continue the game anyway. So they had to kind of like vote somebody out. So they're like, let's just vote Tara out and then we win. But I think it was the idea that why are you voting to still go when we won already? And then I think it was like, oh, because you're going to vote me out. That was
like
the rest.
That must have been such a sad feeling. I felt bad for Eric for that one, because he could have just been like, let's just end it. And then when Mara wants to keep going, he votes Mara, and him and Eric win it so easily. But I think it was funny. Like one quote I wrote down that Rob said. He said, 1 second. What did he say? He said, "Would you give $1,000 to someone you just met 3 weeks ago? I wouldn't." So it's like, not only is this man, playing 8D chess, he is compartmentalizing every single friendship and ranking it, right? And so I think on one hand, it's like, he was being savage and getting Eric out. But I think on the other hand, he was actually, despite the facts of how everything played out, he was being a really good friend to Mara until the end. Like across the board. Like if you think about Traitors as summer camp, like him and Mara were like homies for life, right? Like he made sure that she had a good summer camp. Because like the alternative is Rob is not there at Traitors, and Mara has to what? Be best friends with Michael Rappaport?
Why is that the next person? Like, there's plenty of other people to choose from. I mean, I will say, like to your point, like, there was voting out Mara, and then she wouldn't have to like suffer the humiliation of like losing, and it was rather that like she's not even there. She might have had the betrayal, but then she would have been gathered up out of there, and then it would have been the two traitors. A lot less dramatic because we get the reveal when he votes out Eric or whatever. But I also think like there's always going to be that third game in the Traitors. There's the faithful game, the traitor game, and then there's the who has the most screen time game. And he basically guaranteed she got the most screen time, was gonna like be a hot topic on the reunion because the shock reveal, and then she got to like literally, if you are a person of the arts, a dramatic person, being able to be like, how dare you, like being able to do this shock, like that is so important. Like that literally was when we realized that the faithfuls were gonna win. The next big thing or the traitors were gonna win. That was the next big thing we were waiting to see. So like honestly, like maybe she did look a little kooky, but like there was at least kooky in the I don't know. All right, one of the things I was really interested to your to kind of wrap up that point, Eric, like when Rob says he's gonna continue, he specifically says, dude, I made a pinky promise.
When he said that, boo. I was like, keep that. What do you mean a pinky promise? What are we in grade school? What the heck is that?
Okay. This is one of the things that a lot of people who like are like, okay, Rob doesn't own his game. Rob doesn't own his game. Because I feel like what was really interesting about this voting out Eric is that he could easily still say that he never intended to vote out Eric, but it was only because Mara was like, well, if we vote out Tara, which you want, we have to. So it was basically Mara made him vote out Eric in a way. Like he could still play that card. But do we believe that card, or do we think he was always going to vote out Eric and this was a convenient excuse? I mean, to your point, Alfred, both. There can only be one.
No, there can. Why?
We do in black and white here.
No, we don't do that.
There's no gray area here.
Yeah, and you know who else did black and white? Johnny and Tara. And where are they?
At the Olympics with his silver medal.
Not man. Silver medal, Johnny.
Oh yeah, that was so. I was like, why would you? I would have taken the gold medal. I'm like, yes, I am an Olympian that got gold. Thank you. I'm glad you remembered. Most people don't.
They needed to put Michael Rappaport on the muzzle.
I remember. Thank you, Mike. He like got really elated. He's like, thank you, Michael, for acknowledging I was there.
All right, Daryl says, I feel bad every time I show this because it covers Alfred's face. But Daryl says Rob was gonna vote out Eric with that pinky promise. I just feel like he has this really. Oh no, you're being snake charmed.
Yeah, I've been snake charmed. I want to believe that Rob is not that bad of a person to like think only about the medal.
That's the problem. We keep like assigning morality to a game.
Yeah. I don't think he's like that, like single-minded. I feel like if it somehow was Rob, maybe Tara and Eric at the end, somehow Mara gets out and it's Tara instead. I feel like Eric would have made it to the end with him and they would have both won the money.
I do believe that.
It's so funny though, because it's like Mara, no matter how you slice it, whoever's that third faithful is not winning anything. It's literally just whether he wants to win it with Eric or not. So why does who that third faithful is matter?
Because he was more beholden to Mara. I think it was like levels.
But the thing is, Mara was gonna lose anyway.
Yeah, but he's more beholden. He has to. I think, like to your point, he wanted her to have as much screen time as she could.
Okay.
And he wanted to be at the very end with her to at least have no one else in the room when he betrays the shit out of her. So.
Okay, I'll allow it. No, just kidding. All right, so let's
Rob
go
is probably
for
a horrible person. All he cares about the money, like Daryl says, and he should be
still. Okay, see, it doesn't make him a horrible person. I just hate the whole like, oh, he's so cunning, but not cunning in a way that we wouldn't like people to be cunning. Like he's just cunning enough to where we like it, but then when it becomes morally ambiguous, that's when we're not going to allow. He's not like, why can't he want all the money?
Rob is my hero, so I don't want my hero. It's like
not your hero.
Who say like
who Rob was 3 weeks ago.
I see love.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I wanted to real quick freeze frame though on the point where you're Eric, you saw Rob just vote to continue the game. At this point, as Eric, if you're Eric, what do?
I cry. I just get on my knees and say, please. It's like, I only have $5 million in my name. Please, I need this. Not 220,000. Honestly,
$5 million.
This is on Eric. Like, he should have heard this a mile away, right? Like, he has the ears for it.
Okay.
I don't think he does. That's the problem.
Yeah, fair.
I feel like I would probably cry. I'd be shaking my boots. I'd probably lunge out. No, just kidding. So we see that Eric's play, right, is to, I guess, essentially get Mara to turn on Rob. Well, he votes Rob, and then I actually don't know if he says this before or after he votes it, but he's like, think about why you never considered the other player. It was before the vote was cast. So I feel like
that's why I had hope that Laura would be like, but the editing magic made it look like she was thinking, but was she really? I don't know.
I thought it was like, and this was also such an interesting plot point because it's like at this point Mara already lost, but there's still like this, story, is Rob gonna win by himself or win with Eric? But like also I also think it was kind of interesting because like this was really like a Rob centric, I guess, decision, because he kind of like, if he cast for like say like Mara for some reason, it would have maybe did like a retire or whatever, versus like casting for Eric and then he's voted out. So it really was his choice what he wanted this game to look like, because again at this point Mara had already lost. But I feel like I don't know, what's the play for Eric to try to get Rob to turn on Mara? Hear me out. Now, this was my thought process, and it also kind of depends on how much at this point Eric is allowed to kind of let on the like, I know he can't say I'm a traitor, Rob's a traitor, even if it is endgame, but like I noticed like even the way he phrased the like, think about why you never looked at the other player in this game tomorrow, was very like odd. Like, just say, why did you never look at Rob's ass? He's like, he was very like, I think
there's rules.
Tiptoeing. But my thing is that I feel like at this point you're like, Rob, come on, you don't want to do this. You're forgetting Mara's there because you already know she lost. You're trying to appeal to Rob to not vote you out, like, because this was
I think
well, that's the problem. That's like, I'm saying, if you're fighting to the end, you're not like, I feel like there was a better chance of him trying to not wake some sense up into Mara, but like, I don't know, guilt trip, beg, plead Rob to turn on Mara and vote Mara. And then Eric would have also had, and this is one of those emotional things too, right? The whole thing with the Candace vote, it's like he immediately was mad at Rob, so it clouded that there was a like realistic path, I think, guilt tripping Rob. Because really the decision wasn't anything to do with Mara. The decision was if Rob wanted to cut you and make sure you had no money, or if he wanted to keep you. And I feel like it was just like this immediate, you've betrayed me, without like a lot. I'm not saying it would have worked. I'm just saying, like, I was thinking that probably would have been the move if he could have, like, you know,
it wouldn't have
kind
been
of.
successful, but it would have been the move. So
I don't know if it would have been successful.
no, I wouldn't have been because
Everyone...
Rob was like calculating. Like
Rob is he's so complex.
No, he's not complex. It's pretty simple, I think. But
Okay.
no, but I think like he's calculating because he's like playing this like 3D chess, right? And so like when you do that, you already have your move set, right? And so there's no reason to deviate from it unless there's an issue.
You feel bad.
No, there's an issue in your plan. You see the cards changing, right? So I feel like Eric should have done that, but I don't think it would have helped him at all. So because like when you think about who was at the end of the day, it's about who are you more safe with. And so in the same way that like Mara was more safe at the end with Rob amongst like in versus anyone in her mind, Rob actually felt the same way about Mara. Even though she was a traitor, or he was a traitor with, you know, Eric. So Eric should have done that, but I don't think it would have worked.
Okay. Also, do we feel like, I know we talked about this a bit, but Jazz, I'll let you take a stab at this first. The whole notion that a lot of people are saying that Eric was like dumb to ever trust Rob, and the fact that he entered a turret in which the only person left in the turret had been active in voting out the 2 prior people in the turret, that should have led him to be like, this is not a man who could trust. So essentially, this end betrayal was predictable, so he shouldn't have been shocked. Do we agree with this?
Slightly. But I think, like, maybe, I don't know, you're hopeful that he won't. And it could have just been like, oh, it's 2 housewives. It was him and them. Maybe it was just like, he just didn't like that it was housewives versus him. And maybe I can sway him by also being an outsider a little bit. But I don't know.
He was like, those housewives don't got it like I got it. So
I think he was just like very confident, overly confident that he could simulate into a traitor very quickly.
I felt like that was, I will give kudos to Eric, because I do think that that's such a hard position to be in, like, specifically. And like, I think Rob had mentioned multiple times, like, I've been a traitor the whole time, which, like, I feel like does give you kind of like, you grow into the confidence. I feel like you said this last time, Alfred. You were like, being a traitor in this game is about growing confidence, and being faithful is about losing confidence, because you're more often wrong than not. All right, so they pack Eric up out of here, and then we finally get the beautiful reveal when Rob and Mara, as the 2 left, Mara is gagged. She's like, oh my god, me and my Prince Charming, we locked in.
She really thought. She really.
She said, I think we won. And you know what was the most humiliating?
That was so sad. Yeah, that was so sad. The production literally did like flashbacks of like Mara when she was a child with her mom, and her mom saying, "You'll be big one day." She's like, "Me mom." Oh, yeah. I was like, "Why are you putting this in here?"
It's like, yeah, I want to show that my grandma, like, I want to show my grandma I'm smart and I can be on the winning team. I was like, yo, no.
I was like, what's going on? What is going on? Yeah, and I feel like the most embarrassing part was, and all in good fun, like funny embarrassing, was when she, Alan was like, reveal your status, and she was like, I'm a faithful, like, oh, I got you, and like Rob was even like,
oh my gosh.
I said, Rob, you're kind of taking it, because this is ridiculous. I'm sorry, I wanted to show the face.
Oscar Oh, that's not even the best one, but yeah.
I also thought
hands look fake.
Leave Mara and her latex alone this instant, okay? She's allowed to do what she wants. Right. But yeah, I feel like this was, that was very embarrassing for her. But then we have Rob at the end, being. I just think it was really funny when he was like, "I'm a traitor." I'm not kidding. I'm serious. Like, even to the end, when he tells her with his own lips, she still doesn't believe him. Like, that is so funny, and like,
yeah, he's a good actor.
A great way. Yeah,
see him in Avatar 7.
Like, what?
He's gonna have to have like mocap acts, and he'll have the doctors.
Rob's fake shock was really okay. Why is it working now? What the hell? Okay, Rob's. They were trying to. I don't know. But yeah, Rob's fake shock. Yeah, that was really funny. All right, and that is the Traitors.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, Rob.
After the pinky promise.
I know, she was like, oh yeah, and of course her iconic, "You're never going to get a girlfriend after this one."
Yo, Rob. Okay, I just want I know we glaze Rob way too much on the show, or at least I do.
We do.
But the fact that she said that, and not 2 months later he comes back with a girlfriend.
Rob can never fail. The will was
Meanwhile, Mara went home to her mom, and her mom just looks at her when she comes to the door.
Did you win?
Stop! Imagine. This is all she wanted. This specific thing.
You, Mara. It's a tough world out there.
We love you, Mara, and all your pinky promises. You're right. All right. So that is the Traitors. Before we go into the reunion, any moments, memories that you guys want to point out that we skipped over during this recap? At all? I mean, Mara wore her hat.
It was Sarah for jumping out of the helicopter. That looked fun. So
yeah, that was really fun.
That actually worried me because there was not to get dark, but there was a thing where these actors died because a helicopter, they were running in the water, and they had a helicopter really low, and the helicopter crashed into them, and they all died. Oh, and this was in the 80s. So when I saw that, I was like, oh no.
You're not again.
The opportunity. That's too big.
Yikes. I was all right. Go in the corner and cry. That's tragic.
So I would not want a helicopter near me like that.
That is kind of scary.
So that's a good point. I did notice. I was when they were dropping the buoys into the boat, I was like, why are they dropping it so far and making the boat have to go over and pick it up? Why not go above?
Not kill anybody.
Yeah, that was mad dangerous. All right, guys, we're going to the union. So the first thing I wanted to get out of the way. Now, what was this outfit? Why was her neck so long?
What's funny is I didn't notice until you just put this picture.
Why was her neck 30 miles long? I'm confused.
Avatar.
Yo, whoever told her to wear that needs to be fired.
Not my girl Kristen. Anyone but put this on Colton. How dare you put this on Kristen? She does not deserve this.
I know. This is a Michael Rappaport outfit.
I'm not even seeing it, but picturing in my head makes my eyes burn. How dare you?
That would make him more aggressive somehow, because his neck would be craning around the studio.
He made absolutely no sense. I also wanted to offer you. I said, what was he doing?
Too much.
What was he doing?
Also, he was doing enough, and then he said no. Let me go above.
I also wanted to bring up this because
thank you.
Child.
No one commented on this, but what in the hell?
This was. Oh yeah, they should have brought this up. Why did they bring this up? This is the stuff that I need to hear about in the reunion.
Sure, they should have made him
taught you
exactly. They should have made him answer for this. This is
his wife is never touching allegations. She did not do her job teaching him how to be a human being.
No.
Oh god.
He's they're oh, Michael, what did you think about before coming on the show? And he's well, I talked to some other people, my wife, and they all told me to be quiet. And I immediately did not listen to them at all.
Oh my god, that was crazy. This is his little clip. He thought he ate when he was doing that. I don't even get why he was beefing with anyone. I didn't get a single beef.
Also, why is he wearing that Fred Flintstone tie?
Oh, I was thinking Cheetah Girls. I was like, what's going on?
Oh god, he was a mess. All right, we can just do a free for all. If you guys have anything that you like,
Ron did not get his justice, and I am still pissed.
Mm-hmm.
They just let him. In fact, they had what's his name? My gosh, Monet. Yeah, Monet.
Monet was Shane's. Yeah.
Bringing him up and saying well, you didn't want to be friends with anybody afterwards, and it was why are we somehow making him still the bad guy? Why would you think this is what I want to hear?
That's a good
No.
That's the crazy thing, because I feel like there's like the public, we saw like Ron being treated how he was treated on the show, and the public is really rallying for him, but I really haven't heard any from the cast like really corroborate what he's saying about Dorinda, or what, like, I don't know, like anyone being like, yeah, we did kind of treat him shitty. Like nobody's talking about it at all. So I feel kind of bad for him still, because I feel like
Yeah.
I think he did an interview with Rob Sesternino on his podcast, and maybe he was like, yeah, well, how did like Ron talked about it, but it wasn't like Rob was like, true. Like I don't know what's going on there. It makes me really sad for him.
Yeah,
Because
no, that was like, yeah, that's a good point. I feel like the producers here stopped producing after the finale. Like, we're done. We're going on vacation, because all of these different, like, loose ends, Andy Cohen didn't even focus on it. Meanwhile, he spent like 10 days. Oh, Rob and Mara, like, are you guys gonna be an item? I was like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? This is like disgusting. So I don't know.
Only for Rob to have a girlfriend.
Exactly.
All of this,
like,
we could have just ended immediately with that.
Yeah,
okay, wait. Okay, a little bit of gossip. Do we think that Mara denied them flirting because she was like, it would look cringy now that he has a girlfriend?
No.
Then why did she deny it? We've seen it with our own eyes.
Rob flirted. She just said stuff, and Rob said flirty things in response from what we saw in the show, in my opinion. I think so in the beginning, Mara's like, she's very closed off because she doesn't trust people, and now she doesn't trust people even more because Rob broke her heart. But I don't think he broke her heart romantically. I think he broke her heart as like a friend. But I think because she's so closed off, it's just that idea of, she wasn't there to flirt.
Mm-hmm.
She's just excited to be there.
Oh, that
maybe win for her mom. And then I think the saddest thing is she said she was there and like thought she made friends, and it ends up she made friends, even though it's just a game, right? And then I also think that her her very tragic story of my mom said I could win things, and then I never won. Right?
Yeah, that seemed really deep seated. I actually felt kind of pain.
So I don't think she flirted with Rob at all.
Okay. I thought I saw on the official Traitors podcast, she was interviewed, and she was talking about how she was frustrated because people kept saying that she was like stigmatized by Rob, like she was like obsessed with him and that's why she followed him, but it was just a friendship. So I also was like, I wonder if it was like, yeah, that whole notion of how people are being like, oh my god, you're obsessed over a man and he was playing you the whole time. Maybe she was like, let me not play into
That's
this.
like so sad. It's like we always have to like make male-female relationships romantic, where it's like, why can't they just be friends and Mara understand their friends and like have proceeded thinking that she had like a deep friendship with Rob?
Yeah,
right?
That's true.
People get distracted by their friends too, right? People get like, oh, my friend, like I trust this person with all, and then all of a sudden, like 10 years later, it's like your friend was talking about you behind your back or did something shady to you. So I don't think we can isolate it only to romantic relationships. So
that's fair. Oh, I see Daryl saying that she didn't deny flirting; she denied effing.
But what is flirting? So
I think flirting is very like, it can be like whatever you want. Like people flirt with everyone.
I thought like maybe they flirted, but it's like since they're from Love Island, they're just like that's kind of just a thing they do.
Their default factory settings.
Their humanity, like their persons of like, if you're a Love Islander, like you just ooze flirting, but to you it's not flirting.
Yeah. I would say like Mara herself is a very beautiful woman, so I feel like there's like this notion that like if you're in front of Rob, you would like fold too, like that kind of thing. In general, there was literally so he was like, which one of y'all were like, swooned by Rob, and everyone, even Johnny was like, hey, all the way from Milan.
That's wild. That's so crazy.
They literally all were like, I was gonna say, I think he asked specifically Lisa if Rob being hot was like played into his game or whatever, and Lisa was like, yeah.
She's married. The turret.
But Lisa and Tiffany were like, not me.
Which I appreciate, because it's like everyone who thinks Rob is hot is so loud. So is it more a question of like
wow,
majority, everyone's like, oh, maybe he's not. And then like the vocal minority is like, whatever, you know. So, but also I think there's like an interesting thing. It's like Maura is from Love Island too.
Mm-hmm.
So she sees a lot of attractive people and a lot of attractive people that come on to her. And so it's like, by that, does she have some type of stronger defense to Rob's like looks that made it easier for her to like connect with him as like a friend? And obviously like, she really had no one else. And so maybe it's just like she had no one else, so she glommed onto him. But I definitely think like in my mind, I didn't really see her as, you know, doing what Dorinda did or Colton did.
That's
or,
true.
You know, like, oh my God, he's hot, right?
I think there's also.
I mean, she said he was attractive, but.
Yeah, I also think like, okay, we're gonna get into the patriarchy, so people who don't like that, close your ears. But I feel like there's also like with like being like, especially outside the realm of like Love Island, I've seen on other social strategy shows, women who are attractive and use that as part of their strategy do tend to get a lot of negative backlash, as did Rob. You know, a lot of people were dragging him, but I feel like it's more, you're probably more aware of that as a woman, that people would be like, oh, like imagine if like you know, Mara was being like, oh, Michael Rappaport, that's my wifey, or whatever Rob said about Donna or whatever. Like people would be like, girl, what the hell?
I mean, that's a whole different thing. Like, what? Where did that come from?
Because Rob was kind of flirty with like everyone, but everyone was flirting with him. But I'm like, I feel like you can't maneuver the same, or you'll get like, I don't know. It's not seen as, not to say that Mara would even want to play that way, because that's also a presumption that she would even want to play that way. But I do think it's interesting. But in the patriarchy, I just feel like, you know, you already are aware of the kind of backlash you might get if like you play that way as a woman.
Michael Rappaport, that's my wifey.
No, maybe Michael Rappaport. What is the equivalent to Donna on that cast?
Ron, just kidding.
Mark,
that's my wifey.
Mark has the hair.
Oh, that's true. Mark's wig was immaculate. That
was a wig.
Everything's a wig to me. Everything's a wig unless proven real hair.
Dude, he's gonna come after you for like libel. Wow.
It seemed like he went through and curled every single curl individual. Yes, he put some.
You see how much effort Candace put into looking good? Mark can't do the same.
You're right. Oh my God.
Wow. Look at this gendered, you know, whatever.
I done promoted the patriarchy and I didn't even know it. So Johnny and Tara were being besties in Wisconsin or wherever they were.
Italy.
Oh, Italy.
For the Olympics.
They're probably from Wisconsin though.
I appreciate Johnny. Always got a pompadour like on his head. It's always set and it's always high. I love that. Yeah. But of course they're matching. I don't know if they were like, well, I guess they got like
hair and hat matches.
I know, like besties truly. And I love when like anytime they would cut to them and they'd just be like looking at each other. It was always so cute to me. Like, I feel like they're so adorable as a duo. All right, so let's get into this Candace versus Rob World War VIII. I don't know what y'all gotta say.
Candace came with no receipts. She came with no heat. Like, what did she say she came through?
She what?
What was it? What did she say she was gonna do when she came through?
She said she was gonna cuss his ass out.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't spelled.
She said, "Oh no," she said, she said, "Oh, you want to play reindeer games? Well, I'm a Rudolph."
Yeah,
and she did not shine that bright red nose at all.
I think the problem is that, and like a lot of people were saying that, like Candace was treating this like a Housewives reunion, and unfortunately, the MO of the Housewives is that one person like gets in somebody's face and they get in somebody's face back. If you have somebody like Rob where you're like, well, I thought you, and he's like, yeah,
sure. I knew that was gonna happen. Everyone said it was gonna happen.
Yeah,
she's gonna shout to the top of her lungs, and Rob is gonna sit there and absorb it, and he's gonna win because again,
she got to the point of shouting to the top of.
She made herself look bad by shouting and him not respond, like you know, reacting to her. So yeah, you're right. She like didn't, you know, this is not a Housewives reunion. This is something different.
Yeah. I feel like she didn't even get to the point because I definitely think she probably expected to. I think probably, because I think what's interesting about the reunion is that it was filmed well into the show airing, so I feel like she got to see how what she was doing was being received, and so I feel like she toned it down. And then versus I think that podcast was filmed like right after like they got
So what do you
booted off
think?
the
She's
show.
like, I am a fool.
She probably was just like, it's not really giving. And then when she was actually bringing it up and it definitely wasn't giving, I think she was like, all right, let me just wrap this up because ain't nobody.
Yeah. But I
She's
felt like she
Portia.
still tried to bring it up sometimes, and I was
Portia.
like, stop,
Yeah.
just stop.
I would say, well, okay, so what were the two things she actually said? So there was the debate between Rob, Candace, and Lisa about who would have turned first. So I think it was like this idea was like, did Lisa and Candace get scammed because Rob turned on them? Was he being a snake? Or are they in their feelings? Was he just going, like, trying to jump off a sinking ship? So there's the back and forth in that. And I think it was kind of Candace and Rob versus Lisa. I definitely think Lisa was taking a lot more lightheartedly, but I do think she was like, well, I would have like rode with you. But then his rationale was that, yeah, it was a sinking ship. And I think Candace was really trying to get him to admit that, I guess it was like chicken and egg. Like Candace feels like she turned on him because he was a snake. He feels like he only did all that because Candace was a snake. So there was that. And then there was the Candace versus Rob in that, I guess, versus Colton, where Candace claims that Rob told, which I was talking to Jazz before this, and I was like, this part was really, really weirdly edited. But I think the rationale was that Candace, I guess, told Colton, or sorry, not Candace, Rob. Candace thinks that Rob told Colton that she was a traitor, but I guess like with the rationale that he knew because he was a traitor, and so I guess she was accusing Rob of both revealing he was a traitor and then also revealing she was a traitor. I also think it might have just been that she or I'm literally going to put or because I didn't really understand where they were coming from, or that she thinks that he was the one who pushed Colton towards her, and that would have been like foul play because the only reason he knew to do that was because he knew for sure she was a traitor.
Yeah, so it's like, to clarify, she said that Colton confirmed to some degree that somehow Rob revealed that Candace was a traitor, and so then there was like, allegations of like cheating. And I don't know how she claimed that Colton told her that, but literally Rob is like, "Why would I cheat?" And then literally Colton's like, "No, I did not cheat." And so then she had more egg in her face.
That's the thing. I feel like there was one point when Colton was like, "Oh, like it was so like that's the thing," and like maybe I'm being like a tinfoiled hat Candace stan, but the way it was edited, I actually took a clip of it, but it was like the way he said it, he implied that, oh yeah, you were the one who put me on to Candace, but then Rob was like, no, I don't think that's how it happened. So it really didn't. I don't know what it was.
I think
Maybe
they
I
said
have the
like,
clip.
Colton, was the one who had it first, like had that inclination a little bit first. So I mean, if you pull the clip, we'll see what happens. But I definitely feel like Colton vindicated Rob.
Yeah, I think he eventually did, but I don't think that Colton right away agreed with him. I don't think he disagreed with him, but I feel like he was saying, "Oh, you might have said it first," but then Rob was like, "I don't think that's how it happened." And then yeah, I think eventually, but it seemed like nobody was like sure. But I think ultimately, if the case she was trying to make, huh?
I was saying, does Daryl know? Remember?
Oh yeah, Daryl, do you remember? I feel like either way, if Rob did push Colton, if Rob did push Colton towards Candace and it wasn't like, I know she's a traitor because I'm a traitor, I think that's fine. Like I think he's allowed to push like people
No, I don't
towards
think
traitors.
honestly.
What?
I don't think that's fair.
I mean, if that's part of your game, I think that's fair. If he wants Candace out and he can reliably push somebody towards Candace without a flash, like putting, because that's literally what happened last.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can push them towards Candace, but I guess I was thinking you were saying he can like somehow hint that she's. I don't know. I guess it gets kind of like murky, but I just feel like you can't cheat, right? And so whatever rules are in place for him not to be like blatantly, just randomly saying Candace is a traitor for no reason doesn't make any sense.
I think it wouldn't make any sense, but I feel like he's allowed to do it. I think a lot of times it becomes dumb because it could um flash back on you if, like, for somebody's reason somebody's like, well, why are you randomly saying Candace? Like literally what we saw with
What
Candace. She
happened?
pointed towards
Yeah.
Rob and that sealed her fate. I feel like I don't think that was bad sportsmanship like Rob said, and I don't think if Rob did that, that would have been bad sportsmanship. I feel like it's all game. So anyway, the only other thing that I thought was kind of gaggy was when Rob C, my fave, called Jam Jam a pick me gamer. I know that doesn't mean a lot to many people, but that meant a lot to me.
I think he's right.
Yeah. And Jam Jam just seemed like he was like ignoring it, and he tried to be shady.
What does a pick me gamer mean? Does that mean he's like no longer a gamer and he's just trying to be like?
Yeah, he was trying to downplay his like threat level. So he was like, even though I'm technically a gamer, like these other gamers, I'm not as cutthroat. Like these gamers, specifically Rob, is so cutthroat. Like to kind of maybe like move suspicion from him. I don't know. I just thought it was funny. And I wanted to highlight him because I wish he stayed longer. Y'all
sucked that he wasn't there that long.
I know. I feel like him and Ian would have ate up some like.
Is Ian there's one guy that they showed him for like 2 seconds, and I was like, "Were you in this show?"
Stop.
And then they never showed him again in the reunion. So I feel. Was it Ian? What's his name?
Him. The way I don't have a proper picture.
Oh, the one you can't even see him in this picture. That's how he looked. That's probably the one time they showed him.
That's my fault. I was trying to get a picture of Rob, but Ian,
I mean,
somehow...
your fault. It's whoever edited the show. It's like really. Did he say anything?
They asked him about the fact that he got killed first and how like Rob R specifically said that he got killed first because he was very smart. So he was like, well, you know, I guess I wish I would have been dumber or something like that.
Oh yeah, I think I do remember him saying that.
Yeah.
He was like, I wish I've been dumb with y'all. One thing from Steven, Mr. Coletti himself, he was like, the Faithfuls did not deserve to win.
Yeah.
Do you think that was him being bitter?
No.
I don't know. It was giving bitter.
I mean, we all saw the same show. They didn't deserve to win.
Yeah. After the last episode before the final finale, they didn't deserve to win.
Yeah.
I also want to do a little vindication for Portia because she kind of got a chance to explain her whole speaking like a traitor situation, and I thought it made a lot of sense. Where she was saying, I put myself in the mind of a traitor, and that's why I was saying I killed Ian. And that actually kind of makes me look kind of shady towards Ron. Like, was he playing a little bit of Not Jasmine already being like, shut it down.
Because like, at least he was looking for clues.
Yeah, like leave Ron the F alone.
That's okay.
Someone had to go.
True. You know what? True. And you know, it might as well have been Portia. People seem like she was very well liked. You know, Ron, I don't know. I kind of feel bad for him.
Maybe Eric could have had Portia somehow on his side. Like, imagine it's Mora on Rob's side.
Oh my god.
Portia somehow is friends with Eric, and that's the final two.
That would have been the showdown. The showdown of the century.
That would be interesting.
And then, okay, that's all I really had. Like, there was other stuff, I guess, but it was kind of snooze, in my opinion. Also, the Kristen saying, I think Andy said that they voted Kristen like one of the most like trustworthy, smartest faithfuls in the game, and she mentioned that the internet has a way of making you feel really, really dumb. So it's nice to hear from the people who actually experienced it that I was smart. Do you guys think that the social media, the way people are talking about how the faithfuls played and everyone's decision, do you think it's crossing the line in terms of how harsh people are being?
No. I mean, this is their job. So I'm not. I mean, they're making money regardless if they win the pot. This is what they signed up for. The good and the bad, right?
I guess that's true.
I also feel like, did she get that much hate? I feel like she just made bad decisions and bad choices. So it was like, of course, I don't know. Like, what else are people going to say? They're not going to be like, wow, you're so smart, but like also wrong all the time. Like, what?
She was confident, so it didn't count if she was wrong. Just like Colton.
That's so annoying. Like, confident people who are wrong need to be out immediately. I don't care what happens.
Daryl says if Kristen stayed longer in the game, she should have sussed that right. She did claim that when he was crashing out at Mark during that Tilt-A-Whirl thing, and Mark was like, yeah, she was like, oh, when he started acting out of, because he's a calm person like me, so when he started acting, out of character, like a housewife, that's when I knew.
Too little, too late. I think like one of the problems is like, I'm gonna go back to my hero and Lord and Savior Ron, right? If you go into that castle not looking to make friends and looking to focus on winning the game, if everyone went in with that mentality, the smart people would have been doing their job quickly. Ian, Kristen, like whoever else you think is intelligent. The fact, and I think this is part of the entertainment of it, the social, but the fact that everyone wasted a little bit, I guess I'll say wasted, so much of that beginning of like, oh, I gotta be friends, blah, 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 that kind of like ruined the less hot people or the less social people, charismatic people. So yeah, Kristen, too little too late, but she's smart. If she went in that house like, oh, like I'll be nice and friendly, but I'm here to catch some traitors.
Yeah.
Like she would have sussed them out more quickly. I think she got lost.
But then maybe she would have died earlier.
So what?
Oh.
The game is traitors. It's not live forever.
Okay, but that's what we were talking about before. Making something like an alliance is more of a I'm trying to just survive until the end rather than I'm specifically trying to suss out traitors.
If you want to survive, go play Survivor 50th anniversary. You want to find traitors there, you say names, you say all the names.
Okay.
It's like stab in the dark. And then as you start to stab, it's like Wordle, right? The first line, stab in the dark. But then you start seeing people's reactions based on who leaves. And then you can start pinpointing and honing in on like who it is. Right.
Okay.
People played it too calm in the beginning. I wanted way more chaos.
Same. I mean, I could see that. Last thing I wanted to point out, Natalie, she had her little talk with Johnny and Tara and she mentioned how like I think it was really beautiful. She said that these kind of games are my Olympics, so I come here to win. And I feel like Tara and Johnny were playing a self-preservation game versus a Find Traitors game. What do you think about that?
These are my Olympics.
Yeah, she was whacking Johnny.
I mean,
silver medal Johnny.
Getting to and training for the Olympics are way more challenging. No offense to these.
Than being on Survivor?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can agree. Just kidding.
Survivor is a year-long endeavor. Olympics is like all of your childhood and then some. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the biggest Johnny fan. In fact, I hate his pompadour. But like, I think of his respect for being an Olympian. So.
Okay. All right, guys. Watching this full season, we've become, I think, master traitors. Traitors or faithfuls, like we become masters of the game. So I'm curious if there's any strat that if you guys, because we're all going to audition for the civilian season. If you guys made it in, what is your strat as a traitor? What is your strat as a faithful? I can go first if that's helping. If I'm a faithful, I'm going to be the most boring, nothing faithful. Y'all won't even see me until episode 7. I'm going to pull a Mark Ballas, a Kristen special. Okay. I'm not doing anything. I'm just, hanging out, eating chips and cookies, maybe cracking a couple jokes, but you won't even hear or see me for like the first 5 episodes. And then once all the people with, that are interesting, get voted off or killed, that's when I'll come into my own and I'll starting to look at the patterns, start to point at people.
I mean, I'll be looking at patterns. I think I'll do the same, but I'd be making my own little idea. So in case someone did say like, who do you think it is? I'll have something to say so that they're not like, well, you have nothing to say or bring to the table. Like I'll be prepared, but like, I'm not I'll try to also kind of make alliances just in case, like trying to get my feelers out. But I'd also try and stay in the back like Mark. Yeah.
Which sucks because you are boring as hell, but in a way, like everyone was saying that Kristen and Mark were flops in Kaya Asylums or whatever, but like realistically them doing that was what let them get that far, and being close to Rob obviously. But like it's such an interesting game because it's like, there's a game you have to play in order to actually get out traitors, and then there's a game you have to play in order to make sure you're making it to the end so you can actually win. And it's very, very hard, I think. Alfred, what do you think?
I mean, I think you gotta follow the rules of the game. So if I'm a traitor, like I'm gonna do the Rob strategy. Like bring everyone, like make everyone just love the shit out of you, so that you could not fathom you being a traitor. But if I'm a faithful, I'm gonna go a hybrid Colton Michael strategy because like this show's about chaos. Like traitors are shown in the chaos of everything. Okay,
you're not making the episode.
I'm talking. Okay, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
Clip it.
No, not that.
Right.
No,
okay.
Like, because if you let the traitors get too comfortable, that's when they like get everyone. And so I just feel like the chaos keeps the traitors on edge and thereby lets that like makes them trip up. Right. It's like Lisa was tripped up from the beginning from God knows what, but she was tripped up and that's why she made her big mistake. Yeah. Right. I think the same thing happens is like, you know, with Eric too. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is like you have to try to say that you have to try and lose as a faithful is I think how all faithfuls should be playing the game because you shouldn't be worried about staying. You should be worried about finding a traitor. And that's why I think Michael Rappaport at the end of the day was like one of the best faithfuls because he's like, this game is called Traitors. We need to find the traitors. What was his little catchphrase? This song that he sang?
Oh, he's the most cutest, badutest.
No. He's like saying something about like catching traitors or something like that.
If you are a traitor, clap your hand. If you're a traitor, clap your hand. Imagine somebody was like Candace.
Imagine if that works. Instead of like day one and Rob's like, oh, or Donna.
That's what I would get out because I would play too much. I'd be like, just kidding, y'all. And they were like, all right, banish. No, that's it. They're pulling me away, like literally. Yeah, I would not last a second.
Yeah, because like the only loyalty that you should have in this game, this is why I think Candace was a clown. There's no loyalty amongst fans, right? I gotta get part pieces. But there has to be loyalty to the goal of faithfuls, which is get traitors out. And if you get sacrificed, then you are going down in the iconic hero status of your fellow faithfuls as having, you know, sacrificed one for the team. Everyone, especially Natalie, can you believe how much better Natalie would have been, useful she would have been if she wasn't so afraid of getting out and she was like actually caring about, or even how much better Johnny and Tara would have been if they weren't like so confused, like, oh, we just want to be friends and get as far as we can together. Yeah. And then like Johnny was using his brain that eventually turned on was right. Like, can you imagine if they actually use their individual skills and listen to each other?
Well, how about this? If the faithfuls win, even if you're not there, you get some prize money.
No, I don't like that idea.
But then that makes people actually want to work because what you're describing will never happen because people do have to worry about getting to the end. Because like, think about it, even if you got a traitor, but then you immediately got murdered, it almost means nothing. Like, you just help other people potentially win money. And like, unless those are already good friends of mine, like, it's really hard to be able to be that, like, you know, heroic to be like, I'm going out with the unless you're already a millionaire, then you can kind of do. I think I'm changing my strat though, because I feel like I'd rather be banished than murdered. So I think I'm gonna be like crazy. Like, I'll be quiet for like.
So Michael.
Yeah, basically. Well, no, he's like he's annoying. I would more be like like I would do something, I'd be quiet, and then like in like the third, maybe like sixth banishment round, I'm like, you know, I go back and forth with somebody, and then like say I go back and forth with Dorinda, I'm like, and that's why Dorinda, you're doing beep beep blah 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 blah. Dorinda votes me, and then like a twist, I also vote me. So now they don't know when.
I actually like that. I like that actually.
So now they don't know where my head's at, right? And I'm like,
how stupid that is.
All right. That week,
and then you can put it out. What happens?
No. That week, I know it's just me and Dorinda. We were like hooting and hollering the artists. So I get voted out. Everyone's like, "Yo, what happened, Jennifer? What's happening?" And I'm like, Ron told me it was me, so I voted me. He said we were all voting me. He said we were all voting me. Exactly.
So literally, if I was in the house and that happened, I would call the producers and be like, "I think this person needs to be taken in somewhere." This person is like in a different reality than we're currently in.
I'm like, pause
this game?
I'm like, yo, I'm scared of Ron. Ron said it was me. Now let's test this on Ron. You see what I'm doing here?
No.
Now next round table.
Okay. Straight jackets right here.
Next
Like
round
Shutter
table.
Island.
Yeah.
Shutter Island. Next round table is set. Literally, the traitors won't know what to do with me. The faithfuls won't know what to do with me. I skate to the end.
Honestly, if I was
Literally.
a traitor and you did that, I'd just like murder you just because I was afraid of you.
Yeah, that's what I was like. You're dead.
Why? Y'all are bad traitors. That don't make no sense. I'm literally crashing out. This is a prime person.
I'm worried.
Yo,
We're
can we
worried
hide
for your
Carol
health.
comment like worse than a traitor? Yes.
Y'all haven't seen the vision. Y'all ain't seen the vision. Anyway, I just want to make it to the banquet.
Okay, so this is like an interesting thing. We're kind of talking about like how do we make the game, more, better. Because I think there's like a point that people have been saying this game's virtually impossible for faithfuls, right? And so I do think that if there's a collective pot that if at the end you get like a portion as a faithful, even if you're killed, you should get some. But I think it'll be interesting with the hidden traitor. I think the hidden traitor should not be introduced in the beginning. I think the hidden traitor should be introduced like 3 episodes in. That way they get to start to formulate an idea as a faithful of what's going on, and then they're like, oh, by the way, you're now a traitor, and then they can actually start doing things that are interesting. Versus like being in the beginning, having no idea what's going on. Like Lily down in the beginning, she's like, I don't know, I'm gonna throw out these names for no damn reason. But it's like I think that'd be such an interesting plot point if you have someone who was a faithful, who now is a traitor, but can't be influenced or talk to any other traitors. And then they're like, they either can play along with the traitors who exist, or they can start messing with their ideas, right? And I think that would be super interesting.
That'd be so hard to play, though, I feel like,
Yeah.
to be in that position. Because I do think, as much as it's very powerful to have the power of the secret traitor, I think it's also very isolating. Like, that's why I get so...
Start off as a faithful, so you retain your friendships.
Oh, okay.
Like the first
okay, that makes sense.
Faithful, and then all of a sudden, Alan just comes to your hotel room, I guess, since they're not actually staying at the castle, which I'm flabbergasted.
Like, Alan, what the hell?
He like just comes up under your bed.
Oh god!
Like one of his like fancy outfits. It's like,
what is this?
That's what, like it's like on this side is up. Also, we gotta talk about his Christmas tree outfit on the last episode. Like, what?
Wait.
I was gagged when he was like, okay, Rob, for the last reveal, look at my outfit. And then it like lighted up, and Rob did not give a shit. He was like,
look at me.
Rob was like, can I get my 200K or what? Like, I was like, are you a baby? Like, it's one of toddlers. Like, look what I can do. And does like a 180 flip. And you're like, all right. Like,
yeah. No, the Alan facade of like, harsh host definitely fell after Rob, man. He's like, all right, Rob, let's go have a spot of wine. He's like, okay. He's like, oh, he's like skipping into the castle. Like with his lit up outfit.
Oh god.
Jordan, so.
I'll say I love Alan down, but some of them outfits this season were questionable.
Oh yeah.
Some of them.
One looked like he was hungover, and I was like, is this the point?
Probably was. He's like he's stuck up there with these like normies, these like B-list celebrities, and meanwhile he's like actually still an actor. He's stuck with just him and Fergus, and Fergus is weird. So he's probably just in his castle, just drinking. Like, where did it come to this?
Now, why is Fergus catching strays when he literally did not utter a word this whole entire season? Leave him. I do think it's funny that he's in like this high couture and he's like at this like corner of the lock while they're like doing whatever the mission is, just like commentating, but in these like really over the top outfits. It's like the juxtaposition is so
I love
funny.
those. I love his commentary.
Yeah, it's so funny. All right. So I think that's it. Is there anything anyone wants to say, comment on the season reunion before it wraps up? Any like shocking things that you've learned about yourself?
About myself?
I don't know. I'm trying to end on a powerful note.
I learned to have alliances, I guess.
True.
Before you go in.
For life.
I learned sometimes it is just a game. All right, see you next time.
Anyway.
No. I learned Lisa kiss me.
I realized pretty privilege is real, and now I need to get plastic.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wait, literally... so honestly, I don't think Rob's looks had anything to do with his game.
Fair. Thank you.
Like,
because honestly,
I think it did help with his initial.
Ron was the attractive one on the show.
Who?
Hot Ron. They're saying on the internet, Hot Ron, the comedian.
He is honestly, it's interesting because so many people were like, "Oh, I actually think Steven was the hottest. Oh, I actually think this person was the hottest." A lot of people were saying Eric was the hottest, but it was just like universal that like Rob was the one that they were like.
Because he had the charisma to go along with the looks, right? Because like honestly,
he barely did anything. He could have sat there, and I think they still were like, "Wow, Rob,
he like said
you're so great
at the right time."
That's true. Like Colton aside of being Colton, I feel like he falls in the same aesthetic as Rob. Maybe I mean his chin's a little bit stronger, but like, because Rob has like a boyish charm.
Yeah,
Colton
he has
like a
chin.
Yeah, Colton has like a Jordan Von Strangle charm.
I've noticed his chin, so this is like.
Okay, no,
so we're now pivoting from Traitors podcast to a chin podcast. Yeah, no, Daryl's right. It's all about like you gotta have the personality. Like,
yeah, I agree.
But like the hotness comes from personality and attraction.
Yeah, and Colton talked too much. And he was too mean. He was so mean when he did everything. He was like, so Tiffany, I don't even know what he said because I just remember how he made me feel in that moment.
That's so real. I think you're joking, but that's so real.
No, it's true. No, I was just like, wow, he's just really, he treats the person who he thinks is a traitor like they're an actual criminal, which I think is kind of crazy. But then everyone liked him in the thing, so maybe I'm missing something. Maybe his chin did a number. But Steven, he must have had no presence because I also would put him in that whatever that crew is. I mean, Michael Rappaport said that the 3 hunks.
I'm thinking like, now that we're expanding beyond the Traitors podcast, I'm just thinking like random thoughts. Do we think Colton could be cast as the Crimson Chin in a live action?
I need to look at him again because what in the world? I'm missing out on his chin.
I'm not. Listen, he's a handsome guy. I'm not one to do lookism, but or whatever. But like at some point, I was like, is there something in there? Because it was too English. I was like, let it out. Like, what is in his chin?
That's probably where he put his roses.
Stop. What?
This has like a little latch.
Okay. Now we're bullying. Now we're cyberbullying. We have to stop before Peacock talks to us and releases another statement about.
No, but it was a great season. Kudos to Rob. I just want to say, like, since day one, I was like, Rob has been putting on a clinic since day one, and I don't know if he studied. I really wish Andy Cohen was a better host and asked people how they prepared for these games. So we have better insight into that. So, because now we'll never know, but I appreciate the journey.
Agreed. Great season, great season by Rob. As much as I slander Rob, I actually think he did a really good game, and I think that's one of the reasons why I said the Faithfuls were so bad, because the way that Rob was operating, the way he was thinking was strategic, and I feel like maybe they cut it out, but towards the end you weren't really seeing Faithfuls think that way, and that's all I kind of meant. Like when I say somebody's dumb in the game, I don't mean they're actually like a dumb person. I'm not saying they're a bad person. I'm just saying they're not strategic thinking. Yeah. So, but he was like, everything he did, genius. Oh yeah, Rob's friend from Love Island was on the UK Traitors. That's true.
Aaron. Oh, who?
Aaron.
Who?
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one that was always crying over him. He knows how to get a bromance. Rob really knows how to make these like these his male friends lock in so something crazy. It's actually kind of insane. But that man was crying over him. Wasn't even crying over his Love Island match as much as he was crying over the idea of Rob leaving. It was kind of crazy. Okay. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Daryl, thank you for holding down the comment section period. Andre, if you're still here, hey. And thank you everyone again for joining this panel, doing this weird midway podcast review where if you try to look for episodes 1 through 7, you will not find them. But this was really, really fun, and hopefully we can do something like this again soon. All right, everyone, thank you for coming. And In the meantime, try not to get murdered. See ya.
Why'd you do that, Rob?
Cerise still the best traitor. I don't want y'all to fight me. I don't want Rob's angels.